What is up, guys? It is GCodes31 here, and today's video is going to be on MLB 17, the show Diamond Dynasty Wishlist. Now, there have already been other people who have done this on YouTube, and one of the big ones is named C-Saint Gaming. And special shout out to you, my friend, because if it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't have put out this video, because I've personally been debating on whether to put this out or not, but you really just influenced me to put this video out. So enough of that. I've been thinking about this for a while, and it's a bunch of stuff that not only me, I'm not going to take credit for a lot of this stuff, but people from the community, Diamond Dynasty community on Twitter have said. Now, it ranges from little nitpicky stuff that really doesn't change a whole lot to things that will make the game like 10 times better. Now, that is only for you to decide. That's your personal opinion, but this is strictly for the developers of the game to watch, and whether they take this information or not, that is not, I cannot control that, but just this is all the things that people from the community are asking for next year's game. And if you really incorporate at least some of this stuff, it will really make the game jump next year. And without further ado, let's just hop straight into it. Alright, so the first thing I think that should be implemented into next year's game is the created stadium feature. Now, the way you can do this is if you collect all the stadiums, if it's classic and the current stadiums, then you should be able to have an option to create a stadium. Now, with this create a stadium feature, you can make it like basically however you want. You can make it a small stadium, you can make it a big, large Coliseum stadium sort of thing, or just really an average ballpark, and you could edit everything from the dimensions of like every little corner of the outfield to how big the foul ball territory will be, and to also outfield, beyond the outfield, some different stuff, like the Rangers have a big plane of grass right in center field, Arizona Diamondbacks have the pool, Fenway of course has the green monster in left. So that's basically some little stuff. I've already dedicated a YouTube video on that, and that is already on my channel. You can check that out if you want further information on that. Okay, so the next thing you could have in next year's game is the change of the Diamond Dynasty missions. Now, these statistical missions, once you complete them, there's basically no other point, because like you're done. But I was thinking sort of like always have it continuing. So once you do bronze, silver, gold, and diamond, start over again, so that it just basically keeps the game flowing, keeps you wanting to do stuff, wanting to earn extra stubs, wanting to earn XP, so that once you really reach the end, you're just like, okay, well, I have nothing to work for in this category anymore. So just stuff like that. And also, what came up a couple days ago on Twitter is a new conquest mode. Now, this could happen in this year's game too. What we were thinking is that have another conquest board, but have different rewards. So let's say a whole thing of new flashbacks and new legends that you could do by basically doing the same thing, like conquering every team again, but just doing it under like a different conquest board and getting different players from it. Now, the next topic, really nobody else that I've found has come up with, is basically game flashbacks. Now, as you can tell, Bartolo Colon is on the screen. Now, he did hit a home run a couple weeks ago. Now, what I was thinking is sort of what NBA 2K does, where they release specific, they call it moment flashbacks sort of thing. I was thinking sort of like game flashbacks. So it's not really like a moment, but it's more of like an entire game. But Bartolo Colon, you know, he hit a home run. So what you could do is influence the attributes off of how he played that game. So, however he pitched that game, I don't know exactly how he did pitching wise. Have that influence the stats, and also give him a pretty good boost on hitting. Not too much to where it's cheesy, but just give him a little bit more. And you could, I think he has like all zeros. You could give him like 20, 30, something like that, and just to reflect the game he had. Now, other examples of this could be Noah Syndergaard. He hit 2 in one game. Now he could get a whole new card. And Aaron Hill, he has had arguably the best hitting performance of this year, and he went 3 for 5 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. And that was on May 7th at Cincinnati. So you can have a whole new card for Aaron Hill, a game flashback, and he could have really good power and really good contact, and just stuff to influence how he did in that specific performance. You could do this for basically any card that's done really well in the season. Garcia over here threw a one-hitter, and that was against the Brewers on April 14th. One hit, 13 strikeouts, 1 walk. Influenced that onto his stats. Some other people also include, who other than Jake Arrieta? He threw a no-hitter against the Reds in May. Now, for that performance, you should basically automatically get 99 hits per 9, and I forget how much strikeouts he had. Oh wait, actually I do. He had 6 strikeouts, so his K per 9 wouldn't necessarily be that high because he didn't strike out a lot of people. But that hits per 9 should be a 99. There's just all different stuff that you could do just to keep more cards coming into the game as the season progresses. Because we all know after this year, when you have all the flashbacks out, what are you going to put out next year that is different from this year? So, another thing that I was thinking of, and a lot of people have suggested this, is that a quicker way to feed players to your Diamond Dynasty player. Now, let's say I have 5 Connor Gillespies right here, third baseman for the Giants. Now, what buttons are used are X, Start, and Circle. Now, there should be an option where if I press square, that I could feed all of the people 2 or more onto my player and have it show up right there on players to feed, just 5 Connor Gillespies. And of course, you'd have to keep in mind that I forget the exact number of feed cards, but you could have it to where if you have 50, I don't know, it would just, once you press square, it would fill it all the way up to either you stop with however many cards you have, or you just reach the max and then you can just press start and feed the players. I think that would be a much more efficient way of doing that, because when you're doing those conquest missions and stuff, we need to feed a lot of players. Sometimes I like to stock up and get 10 of the same player, and that is really just boring and takes a lot of time. Takes a lot of time away from you playing the game. Just you sitting there just scrolling through and pressing X and pressing start just 10 times, and then having to do the whole collection and just feeding that to your guy and all the people you need to get to 100% on the tier 2 reward. Just that would make it a whole lot more efficient, and that's basically it for this one. Alright, so this doesn't really affect the gameplay, but it's just a little nitpicky stuff. As you can see, CC Sabathia and Dustin Pedroia Flashback are the same template, however, they're different years. Now this makes no sense because, as you can see here, Broxton, I have the whole 2009 set collection, so I know exactly how they look like and what year. So that's the 2009 set. However, Chris Iannetta has the same card art, but it's 2008. Now that shouldn't happen. It should be the same card art for every year. Okay, so the next topic I want to cover is the spending money for stubs in the game. Now, this happens for every sports game where people spend real money to get in-game virtual currency. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the developers did say before the game came out that the people who did play the most and would get the most rewards for just simply playing the game and not spending money. Well, however, that is not the case. Now, doing the conquest and doing some different sets, I did a little bit of math, and for doing the sets, which you can use with money, so you can get all these players just from putting money into the game without putting any effort into just playing it or whatever. You could get 20 diamonds and 20 golds. Now that is not including the current players like Anthony Rizzo, Mike Trout, Clayton Kershaw, Jake Arrieta that you have to get in order to get the collection rewards. And that would even put your team up even more. So these diamonds that I included for the 2020 include 99 Reggie Stalker, 99 A-Rod, 99 Jackie Robinson, Al Kaline, Johnny Bench, Matt Kemp Flashback, Luis Gonzalez, Jim Edmonds, and that is just for doing the sets. Now you could do that by actually getting the stubs by playing the game, but that takes a whole lot longer. Or you could just put in money and just have basically all those players in like an hour. Now, for Conquest, the whole thing with Conquest, in case you weren't aware, was that you have to conquer the stronghold, then command, basically play with players from that team on your own Diamond Dynasty team, and then feed those players onto your Diamond Dynasty created player. Now, from that, you can get 19 diamonds, but only 11 golds. Now, even with the 19 diamonds sort of comparable to the 20, these diamonds are not as high caliber as the ones from the sets. So, for the sets, you get a whole bunch of 99s, I think 3, and a whole bunch of other really high caliber cards like 97 overall, 96. But for Conquest, you can only get the highest you could get is a 98 overall Adrian Beltre, and that's for the Dodgers. The next highest overall is a 96 Prince Fielder. Now that means all the other diamonds are really low caliber, like 90, 93, 94. But for doing the sets, you can get 95, 96, 97, even a 98 or 2. And even with including the currents, you get a whole bunch of other 99s with the whole inside edge boost and everything. So, yeah. And for the next part of this is going to be on something that will really elevate the game to the next level, and that is leagues, trades, and having managers. Now, this is a little pick from Online Franchise, but you could sort of phrase this into Diamond Dynasty. So what I was thinking is that you could either have a league, like a franchise sort of thing, of just your own Diamond Dynasty team that you would have to put in the beginning, and then lock those players in so that you can't sell them or anything, and you have to use them in that specific league. Now, I will get to that a little bit later with the whole different lineups, but just strictly for this, you could have just the leagues, and then also the trades, not having to do with the leagues. You can just have trades like on the auction house, and that really what put up Madden to the next level. You can do trades, you can do giveaways, you can do all that fun stuff, and yeah. And one more thing I forgot to mention is have the managers have a specific boosted stat like in Madden as well. So let's say, just for an example, that Joe Girardi could have a +5 in speed or something like that to all players. And you could really build on this and have like legend coaches like Tommy Lasorda and just other people like that, Joe Torre, and have the stats that are boosted be even bigger. Now this would only go towards regular Diamond Dynasty, not the league thing that I'm talking about as well. And yeah, that could be incorporated next year. Alright, so the last thing for this video is something that doesn't really affect gameplay, but when you're searching through the logo vault to find a new logo, there's a lot of buffering when you're just searching through them, and especially when you're scrolling down, it waits till it reads like every single one, so it gets the logo that you're on right now, and that is just a little aggravating if you're trying to find a specific logo. So thank you guys so much for watching, and just leave a comment down below regarding your opinion, and until next time, peace guys.